Calls for house-to-house registration continue to echo as public service stalwarts are recognized. It is Monday, June 24, the start of a new week. President David Granger has invited opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo to meet with him to discuss the current political situation in Guyana, resulting from the June 18 decision of the Caribbean Court of Justice. The two are expected to meet at the Ministry of the Presidency after June 24 to discuss the consequential order heard today. In a letter dated Thursday, June 20, Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, made the correspondence on behalf of the President. The Director General said that the letter serves to demonstrate President Granger's commitment to engagement and dialogue with the opposition leader in the interest of the development of Guyana. Meantime, the Caribbean Court of Justice today heard oral submissions on the consequential orders of their June 18 ruling. President Adrian Saunders ordered that the court will now receive written submissions from the principal parties. These are to be submitted by July 1.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams today reiterated that President David Granger is prepared to set a date for national and regional elections once he is duly advised by the Guyana Elections Commission. The head of state is also awaiting word from Leader of the Opposition Barrett Jagdeo on the way forward, following the June 18 ruling of the Caribbean Court of Justice.
The President has already invited him. He's waiting on the Leader of the Opposition.
But outside of that, to prompt a faster meeting, what can the government do?
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll be able to address that. But the Leader of the Opposition would know that the world is waiting on him to respond to the President.
The Attorney General was addressing the CCJ panel led by President Adrian Saunders from the Appellate Court in Georgetown. The CCJ met for the post-judgment hearing on consequential orders on two sets of cases from Guyana, for which judgments were delivered last Tuesday. According to the Attorney General, under Guyana's electoral laws, in order to create a new list of electors and the National Register of Registrants, house-to-house visits must be pursued. He said almost $500 million have already been spent in preparing for house-to-house registration by GCOM. The Attorney General reported that the head of state had already written to the Leader of the Opposition, inviting him to a meeting, but is yet to hear from him. He reiterated that the President and government shall remain.
We believe under 1067, it takes precedence over 1066. 6 doesn't have any timelines. And so 7 governs 1066. And the President, the government, the cabinet should remain.
What about...
And the President does not leave until an election is held and a new President is sworn in.
Meanwhile, President Saunders requested written submissions from all parties by Monday, July 1. He said the court will seek to hand down a decision on submissions on or before July 12, during which time he encouraged that the head of state and opposition leader meet. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
Young people are continuing their call for the prompt start of house-to-house registration.
Odell Briggs is a student at the Government Technical Institute and a prospective first-time voter who turns 18 years old in August. The student, along with other young people, shared their thoughts on the electoral process.
Election should be fair that everybody should be able to vote who is alive and eligible to vote.
I think that elections should be fair because as Guyanese, we should be afforded with the right to vote for who we think is more capable to run our country.
Most definitely elections should be fair and everyone should get a fair chance of voting.
I think elections in our country should be fair, and a fair election to me is having everyone to vote.
They believe that no Guyanese should be disenfranchised.
Me, I wouldn't like if nobody deny my right to vote, right? Gotta say, everybody have a right to vote, right? So, and if I like to vote for the party that I like, I would like to vote for that party.
I think that that would be really unfair and that they should do the house-to-house registration so that they will be given their rights to vote. That's just messed up. I would feel like I'm being robbed of my rights to choose a government or to choose our leader, because being a Guyanese, I should be given that right.
The individuals also shared their thoughts on the creation of a new voters list.
I would support there being a new list, and I would support there being a new list because me and others would be on that list and would get to vote.
I would, because personally, for me, I have persons that died in my family that names would be on the old list, and that would be wrong, you know. And I have persons that just turned 18 that will be denied their right to vote if there isn't a new list.
Most definitely I will support it because I would like to exercise my right to vote in order to make this country a better place.
I would support it, yeah, the new list, if the thousands of people that aren't voting, that aren't able to vote, if they could be able to vote, I would support that.
Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
At a ceremony held on Saturday at the Capel shipyard in Singapore, First Lady Cassandra Granger commissioned the first oil production vessel, the Liza Destiny, to be placed in Guyana.
The ceremony was held on Saturday at the Capel shipyard in Singapore, and the First Lady, in her remarks, recognized the importance of this project and industry to Guyana.
I think it has been a fitting name for our country because, as Mr. Mallon said, we are talking about destiny, we're talking about long term, and we are talking about what I believe is vision. Not only the production, but also the process and what comes behind it. I hope that this ship will bring to us, the people of Guyana, not only prosperity in the physical sense, but greater cohesion, greater development, and of course, the sustainability of our country and our people and culture that we all desire.
In keeping with tradition and naming protocols, the dedication is performed by a woman who is termed the godmother of the vessel to bestow good luck and divine protection over the ship and all those who sail on board. Also accompanying the First Lady was Director of the Department of Energy, Dr. Mark Bino. According to online news agency Oil Now, ExxonMobil's upstream president, Liam Malone, acknowledged the correlation between the name of the floating production storage and offloading vessel, the Liza Destiny, and ExxonMobil's intent to partner with Guyana over the long term. He said it will provide value to Guyana and ExxonMobil. It was highlighted that Liza Phase 1 is an international project with significant local participation with more than 1,000 Guyanese involved. This venture involves completion of the FPSO and 4 subsea drill centers with 17 wells. The Oil Now report also noted that the dedication ceremony marks the final stage for the Liza Destiny as it prepares to sail to Guyana next month. Final work is being completed and several checks will be performed over the next few weeks. The Liza Destiny has a production capacity of up to 120,000 barrels of oil per day and an overall storage volume of 1.6 million barrels. During normal operations, there will be at least 80 persons living and working on board the vessel. The Liza Destiny is expected to arrive in Guyana in September. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Finance Minister Winston Jordan says the latest International Monetary Fund report on Guyana corroborates the government's economic policies.
Once the economy is growing, the average housewife or worker could expect better payment. And if that economy is growing in the context of low inflation, they could expect stable prices.
Minister of Finance Winston Jordan, re-emphasizing that the IMF report also showed steady growth since 2015 when the current coalition administration took office. Minister Jordan noted the recently held carnival in Guyana as another clear example of economic growth and money trickling down.
You can feel the effects of a 4.1% growth in the economy. Just a couple of weeks ago, you had Carnival in Guyana. And over that 1 week, there wasn't a single complaint about money not flowing and so on. Everybody was smiling, from the cook shop, the side vendor, the taxi driver, everybody, even the private sector was moved to indicate that indeed things were happening in the economy.
In the meantime, the minister said government is also heeding the recommendations of the report to ensure it stays the path of economic stability.
No report, however rosy, will not be without its cautions and so forth. And so we were cautioned in a couple of areas, or pointed some areas where we could improve or tinker with some parts of it, and that will give us better returns. They were in high praise for our Natural Resource Fund, which is our sovereign wealth fund, and the fiscal rule, the withdrawal rule that will allow us to draw funds from the NRF into the consolidated fund and to finance development.
Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
When we return, 51 public servants honored for long-standing years of service and new annex at Health Ministry's Diamond Warehouse commissioned. Details of these and more after the break.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest, which provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Thanks for staying with us. 51 public servants representing several ministries, departments, and agencies were recognized for their years of service to the government and country. They were presented with awards at a ceremony held at the Baridi Benab State House today.
During her remarks, Minister of Public Service Tabitha Sarabohali expressed appreciation for the dedication shown by the public servants over the years.
We thought it fitting to recognize those persons who stuck the course. Many of you have worked through several administrations. This act of service shows a love for the people of Guyana and a recognition by yourself of the integral role played by public servants in the development process of your country. To those who have reached the age of retirement but stayed on your jobs, we are grateful, and on this occasion, I implore you to share that institutional knowledge with young public servants who have a teachable spirit.
She reminded them that public service must be more than doing a job efficiently and honestly. It must be a complete dedication to the people and to the nation. As such, the Public Service Minister reiterated the government's commitment to the development of the public service sector.
And in keeping with this ideology, I promise that as your minister, and in keeping with the commitment of the government of Guyana, we will together move the public service from where it is currently to a position of respect and eminence. A public service you will continue to be proud to be a part of, delivering high quality, efficient, responsive service worthy of respect and deserving of reward.
The list of awardees comprised of public servants who dedicated their time and efforts to the development of Guyana, with some of them serving for almost 5 decades. Also present at the event was Minister of State Dawn Hastings Williams. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
A new multi-million-dollar annex of the Materials Management Unit was recently commissioned by Minister of Public Health, Valda Lawrence.
The $161 million extension to the Diamond Warehouse was funded by the government of Guyana, and according to Minister Lawrence, is an expression of her ministry's commitment to achieving the MMU's mission. Minister Lawrence said that the government had been spending large sums of money for the rental of storage space. The investment in its own storage bond is therefore most fitting.
We recognize that there is an urgent need for us to make an investment because we will continue to be supplying drugs and medical supplies. So why not have our own place? Invest in a building whereby we can be able to provide these services.
The minister said that the Public Health Ministry has the mandate to realize the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which addresses taking care of the well-being of citizens and bridging the gap of limited storage capacity.
And I'm quite certain that in 2020 we will find favor with the Ministry of Finance to give us some additional funds so we can have some additional space so that we can meet all of the requirements. Those requirements under the stores regulations and those requirements under the storage of drugs and medical material.
The MMU provides medical supplies to more than 372 health facilities across the 10 administrative regions of Guyana. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure will soon commence work on the Denham and Cassandra bridges in the Cuyuni-Mazruni region. This was disclosed by Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson during a community engagement in Winnipiru, Region 7.
We got to fix the bridge at Cassandra. We had our engineers go and look at it. Yeah, everybody know where that bridge is by Cassandra. Yeah, so that bridge, we fix that bridge and we're going to rehabilitate the Denham Bridge, Garway Stream Bridge as it is. And therefore you'll be able to once again drive all the way back up to from Madia, Region 8 to Region 7, instead of coming around on the Magura Trail and those things like that.
Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson. The minister also provided reasons for the execution of the project.
Lower cost of living for people in 8 and 7, give you more access to lands and those things like that.
Minister Patterson explained that the linkage of Bartica to Cassandra and Madia to Denham Bridge is in its final stages, with only 10 kilometers of works remaining. Hence, contracts for the construction of the 10-kilometer zone is out for tender. These works are expected to complement the flagship Bartica-Madia Road project. They are also part of the government's commitment towards bridging the gap between the coast and the hinterland. Shaquille Bourne, for InfoHub.
That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye.